On everyone, this is Pippet over here at Pippet FX. I just wanted you guys to get a brief description of our new Trend Striker software. Alright, this is just one system of a few that we have over here at Pippet FX. We have a nice collection of indicator suites, indicators in our indicator suite, but this is one of our first indicators for trend finding and scalping on the lower time frames. Yes, this is one of those indicators or systems that you can use on multiple assets, but this one in particularly was designed so yeah, this was particularly designed for indices, but it can be used as a confluence for other assets like foreign currencies or whatever. But this one was specifically designed to find nice entries in a trend for indices such as US 30, Dow Jones, NASDAQ 100, S&P. This is what this software was created for: scalping on the lower time frame, minimum risk, and yeah. So here we go. As I have this playing, we're going to keep this playing, and let's see, pause that right there. So for example, you could take this position right here, right? Let's say, what's this? At the very top of that pivot level, we have 30 pips, so this would be, and it's always suggested you go 1-to-1 if you want to hold on, but if you don't want to hold on, you can do a negative risk to reward, such as like negative 30 points to 10 points. Remember, this is the 1 minute time frame, so you might want to do something like that just to get in and out of the market for you extreme scalpers. But for people that maybe want to go negative risk 30 to 20, so therefore it won't take 3 wins to cover up 1 loss, you know what I mean? It'll only take 2 wins to cover up a loss. Or you could just easily do 1-to-1. Personally, I would do 10 to 20 points, but it can definitely be used. See, boom. So we have full take profit right there with minimum drawdown. So there we go. That's one. Boom. Right. So basically, what you want to do, you want to see a crossover, a rejection off of one of these pivot levels, and then a sell signal if the trend is bearish, and vice versa. As we have it over here to the left of the chart, we have the trend going up. Clearly we have the pivot levels underneath price, and then we have an entry right here, even right here, right here. Some of these signals is up for it's pretty subjective, or not subjective, objective, if you will. If you want to take a look at one of these and decide on which entries to take, if you are taking any of these entries, because it does give out a lot of signals. Some of them are false, but it's up to your discretion to decide which ones, and if it does go along with your analysis. And I want to emphasize this again, like, this is one of those software systems that you can use to trade straight off of, or you can definitely use as a confluence with one of your own trading plans, right? So let's continue with this little back test. Let's speed this up. Alright, speed this up a bit. Just want to give you an example. There we go. So let's say this one is 30. From my opinion, from trading US 30, 30 to 50 points is a nice cushion. And I would say let's do 10, because like I said, I like to go for 10 to 20 points, and see if you notice it would have already hit take profit 1 minute later, right? Let's just for the humor of it, let's just say we decided to go 20 points instead. You see, all right, see 20 points would have been taken out, right? But like I said, I like to go for 10 points. I'm one of those people. I get in, get out, go for my 10 points, manually close. I don't have time to set a take profit. But like I said, this is one of those systems you can use up to your own discretion. Some individuals might have not taken that. So, you know, but I did. But I would have taken it for 10 points, just like over here. Instead of going for 30, I would have gone for 10. And see, instead of worried about that negative risk, I'm worried about the constant profits, the small profits that will accumulate and compound over time. So for us right now, let's just say that's a win. I'm going for 10 points. All right. Now we have a crossover. Now what we would be looking for is that sell signal and then a buy signal. That's a false buy, so it doesn't count. We need a valid buy and a valid sell signal, meaning we need a bullish buy signal with a bullish candle, right? So that's invalid right there. And then we have a valid one right here. So let's just bring this back. Alright, so you see we have this crossover, kind of a rejection buy. This is up to your own discretion. Like personally, I understand basically understanding like some price action rules. Like this would essentially be a stop hunt to take out these lows. We have some buyers right here, all of these buyers that entered up here at this high, and then we have a stop hunt right here. Some more buyers enter. This was a stop hunt that actually reached into this order block after this break of structure, right? So technically we could have entered off of here if we're using price action and entering and executing our positions from block orders, I mean order blocks or whatever in price action. But from the software, I would have noticed like this is a stop hunt and a run into this order block and then a push up, and then after we get this break, little retest and then push up for this buy, I would have entered for a buy long position right there. All right, and like I said, me personally, I go 30 points to 10 or 20. And we both know based off of what we just saw, it actually goes for more than 10. So it goes for 10 points. That's 100 pips, 10 points in 1 minute, right? So that's not bad. So right there we have 30 points. Right, and here we go. Another one. We want a deep retracement. We want as deep as a retracement into the pivot levels as possible. So yes, we see that it did retrace right here and give us a buy signal. But for me personally, because it's at so close to this high, and this could be an institutional candle or pattern being created, I don't actually like this. I wouldn't have entered, and you see on this next candle it actually pulled away from that price level. So personally, I would have saw that and not entered anyway. I would have waited for more of a deeper retracement into the pivots, and then see and no buy. See, all right, cool, and that's good. See, it's good to have certain trading rules and parameters. This is a good tool to use to add into your arsenal. All right, so we see that now that we have a crossover, possibly we're looking for that buy and then the sell. Look, that's our sell. I'm not too sure since we got that crossover so soon, and we didn't really get any price action to like cross back over and then pull back below the pivots. So just for humor, let's say you got in and you saw this. Let's just say boom, right? 10 points, right? Risk 30. Let's see. See, stopped out, right? And that's why I said there has to be certain rules. And that's why I said for me, I probably wouldn't have done that, because I understand if you see how we enter the buy right here, right? We have a crossover, right? And there's a reason why it crossed over, you know. And also, I'm not sure if I want to take this sell anyway, because we just have this price action. it actually returned right back into this low, into these order blocks. So I might have not been looking for that sell anyway. I probably would have been waiting for a crossover for a buy, and then retracement, and then another buy signal, right? But for example, you see the reason why I took this buy off after the, like, as soon as it crossed over with the signals, because we have this kind of this sell, it breaks, it comes back over, breaks again, right? And this is what I was looking for. It comes back above the pivot levels below and then crosses back over, breaking this structure, right? It created this order block, this institutional candle pattern, right? So that is a main reason of why I took that, because the breaker structure, the order block that was created, and price had the momentum. We have our momentum and our volume indication to buy, right? So buyers are in. You want to buy with the rest of the buyers. All right, so this one, let's say, all right, we just take that one, even though it didn't fit my rules or the parameters. You have to have rules, all right, y'all. You got to have rules to this stuff. All right, let's bring it down. See, that was a nice little buy. Ooh, only if it gave us the buy setup. You know, we need a retracement into the pivots and then a buy. I wouldn't say that's deep enough for me. That's not a deep enough retracement for me, even though those are good buys. See, any of these would have been good, right? Because you have a rejection off of the pivots. Actually, this one probably would have been the best one right there, because we see that it's starting to create a trend. It's following the trend upwards, right? And we start to see how it's trending away, right? So let's say for humor, if you would have saw that, you'd have definitely got your take profit right there. 30 pip risk, 10 points, right? See, confluence, all right? You guys have to understand confluence. You have to understand something. You can't just rely on this. You got to be able to see it in the market. You got to see that these signals are giving you the right positions, all right? There you go. That's what I would have been waiting for. Forget this. All of this, nah. I would have waited for this deep retracement and then a buy. That's my entry right there, okay? That's what we're looking for, people. We want a deep retracement into the pivots, into these pivot levels, right? Into these pivot levels. Deep retracement. Look at that. 10 points in 1 minute later. All right, let's say you're one of those people that say, I can't handle that risk. I want to do 1-to-1. All right, cool. You do 1-to-1, and guess what? You get your 1-to-1. Right? You get your 1-to-1. You got your deep retracement, your entry. That's what we want. That is a perfect example of a good entry, a trend striker. That's how we strike the trend. Right? You look for that pull back, deep retracement into some structure, into these pivot levels, and then we get an exit with the buy signal, some momentum, right? So that's 30. That's a 1-to-1, right? If you want to hold it a little longer, you know. And some people would have gotten their 10 points, and then you see this retracement right here. I don't know. That would have been another entry for some people. I would have probably entered off of this one after this retracement into this pivot level. I would have entered off of it. That would have been another 10 points, you know. So let's just say that's another win. We count that as a win, right? Let's see if we get another. We get another signal for a buy. There we go. Another buy signal. All right, I'm going for 10 points. And remember, like, this is happening so fast. This is the minute time frame. I am closing these out manually. Look, 10 points, boom. We got another winner. All right, got another winner. We would ignore that signal. Why? Because it didn't retrace deep enough. We need something deeper like this and to exit away from the pivot levels. All right, so boom, there we go. See this rejection? That would have been our entry right there. Boom. Risk 30, go for 10. 10 points. Yep, boom. A few minutes later. So let's say we already have a couple wins. We counted this as a loss, even though this didn't give us the proper pull back and first off, the pivots were not fanned out. We want the pivots to begin to fan out. All right, unless you understand price action, like we already have the crossover to buy. This is just a stop point, so therefore we're still continuing this trend upwards. This is kind of iffy because we have this crossover, but there is no confirmation that the trend is continuing down, right? So this one was kind of risky. We're still going to count that as a loss because some people might have taken that just being fast and being, you know, FOMO, having a fear of missing out on the position, right? So we'll count that as a loss, right? Because the reality of it is sometimes we take losses, right? So we got 10, 10, 10, that's 30. So this is break even. And then we have 10, 10, 10. So we up 30 points, up 300 points. And this is just in one morning, one session. This is all New York, right? The beginning, this is the end of London and most of New York right here, right? So that's what we do, right? We keep going. There we go. We got it. Well, that's not a good retracement. We need a deeper retracement like this, and then we get a buy. See, right there. Boom. That's what we're looking for. Boom. Let's see if we can get another one. Boom. Boom. Another 10 points, right? Come on. This is the trend striker indicator, y'all. Alright. So that's what we want. That is prime example of how you want this to work. You want a deep retracement into the pivot levels, and here we go. Maybe a buy. Can we get a buy? I don't know. I don't like these pivots. I don't like the nope. It's moving sideways. I don't like that. That wouldn't have been a good entry regardless if it hits or not. We don't like that. See? And it stops you out. You know, I didn't like that. Now we might be looking for sales. You see it's starting to pan out. We get a buy. We might get a sell and take that sell. See, that sell would have been risky. But technically, that would have been, it would have been, let's say it would have been risky only because we didn't get a clear rejection. You get what I'm saying? We didn't get a clear rejection because we have price crossing over the pivots and then giving us a sell. It doesn't clear rejection. So this is up to your discretion. You know what I mean? Some of these signals will be up to you to decide if it works within your trading plan. This position may have not, but the reality is some people that don't know price action would have entered this. You know, and that's the reality. And bong, see, there you go. See, there you go. That's what I'm talking about. There we go. Got our 10 pips, even with that 30 point cushion. But see, I would have, see, even though that hit, I would have most likely waited for this. See, it crossed over and came and gives. This is a more of an indication, right? Because not only do we have this failure to break this high, it actually didn't cross and close. See, this crossed and closed the pivots. This didn't cross and close and gave us that nice sell signal after this continuation pattern created. That red, green, red pattern. That pattern right there. So some people would have taken that first position. I would have taken this position, and then we would have been good to go. Right? Barely any drawdown. Right? Alright, so pretty much that's simple rules, you guys. I just wanted to run through it really fast, and hopefully this helped. Um, you know, hopefully this helped. We got a crossover, maybe. See, this is kind of risky because it closes, but this is a nice little rejection. We have the pivots panning out. I would say take it, and if you take the loss, hey, as you can see, we have more wins than losses as long as you follow the rules. See, boom, another 10. All right, so that's it. That's it for the Pipit FX Trend Striker. All right, there you go. Follow the rules. Make sure you're looking for that deep retracement. If price crosses over, you might want to wait until the next valid signal comes up, but you always need to follow the rules. All right, follow the rules, follow the trend. Trend is your friend, and this is a great tool to add into your arsenal and scout the industry markets. This was designed for the 1 minute, the lower time frames, the 5 minute, even the 10 minute, maybe the 15 minute. You can find some good entries. The higher time frames are good, you know, but they just don't come out very often, of course. But like I said, all of these positions are subjective, objective, or whatever. I think I'm using them wrong. either way, you guys get what I'm saying. You have to be able to decide if this entry is great for you, makes if it meets all the requirements. Okay, you have to understand the requirements. You need the deep retracement with the sell or buy signal. You need the pivot levels to be fanned out or beginning to spread. Um, and you need to know how to identify direction of the trend. All right.